Morning, Mr. Starmer.
We'll try not to get you too lost.
A steady political force. Few of the theatrical flourishes of past winners.
In the white heat of this revolution,
we have been elected as New Labour and we will govern as New Labour.
But this is Labour's best hope for victory in a generation.
Happy New Year. Thank you very much.
Keir Starmer, who found himself slightly outside his comfort zone today as he set out his vision. But what do we know about this prosecutor turned politician? Never one to bare his soul, but in his 3 years as Labour leader, we have seen key signs, some clues, some questions, which tell us about Keir Starmer's character. First, this is a political fast learner who soon realised that abandoning the Corbyn era was just the first modest step he would have to take. Turning to Gordon Brown and then Tony Blair were, he decided, vital in understanding how to win. Versatility there, but a habit of changing positions. A passionate Remainer who now wants to make Brexit work has raised concerns about whether he is politically rootless.
For Keir Starmer, still over half of the population don't really perceive that they know what he stands for, and only 1 in 5 people say that he's good in a crisis or indeed has a personality. And so there are some areas where he needs to see further development.
One characteristic is not in doubt. The quiet demeanour hides a ruthless streak which Starmer has deployed to sideline the Labour left.
He's not a normal politician. He said that in the speech today. You know, he only came into politics, I think he said 8 years ago. And before that, he's run several big and important organisations. In those organisations, he changed them. He's changed the Labour Party as the person running the Labour Party.
There's a trait Keir Starmer shares with Tony Blair: fear of Labour complacency. Finally, Keir Starmer developed a deep personal contempt for Boris Johnson. A different approach is needed now because Starmer sees Rishi Sunak as out of touch, but not lacking morality. During the turmoil of recent years, as the Conservatives have chopped and changed their leaders, Keir Starmer has emerged as something of a constant presence in our lives. Even his allies would admit that he's still a work in progress. Very good at prosecuting a case against others, not so good at prosecuting a case for himself, goes the whisper. And so the challenge for Keir Starmer is to cut through to the British people and show that he's not just the beneficiary of divisions amongst his opponents. A pollster has some advice for the Labour leader.
I would say you cannot be complacent. The scores that we're seeing for Keir Starmer are middling, they're moderate, they're solid, they're not exceptional. 2 years is an incredibly long time. A week, people say, is a long time in politics. We have 2 years until the Conservatives are likely to call a general election. And over that time period, they could bounce back on the economy. And that is currently one of the areas which is really helping Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. But he also needs to get out there and to be seen as personable by the British public and somebody who can manage a crisis.
An ally sees a leader making major progress.
I think he's just had a plan. I think, you know, he came in, he was elected as Labour leader and after our worst defeat in 2019, and to do what he's done in such a short space of time to get people looking at the Labour Party again was very, very difficult, but it was a necessary precursor to be able to have that permission to be heard now with his plan for the country. So, you know, I think it's so exciting. We're getting more and more of what Starmerism is and more of his vision for the country. But he needed to show the country first that he was in charge of his party and that we had that crucial fiscal credibility so that people would just give us the time of day again.
A leader impatient for his chance, but a leader who knows his party still has much work to do.